All right, I'm John Chen, CEO with Geoteaming, and of course I'm here with one of my greatest lead facilitators, Joe Fjellman. You're just recently back from a really big program in Texas, and will you tell me a little bit about that program?
Yeah, absolutely. It was really a fun program, lots of moving parts, and fair amount of complexity. So we had about 320 folks gather. They were all part of the Americas, a financial leadership group, and they wanted to have collaboration. And they were also looking at having an interactive branding part so that when all was said and done, 36 teams could come together and assemble an image, a puzzle image, that rolled out into three 4 by 10-foot murals.
Wow.
That talked about their competencies as an organization.
Uh-huh.
And so we built that within the geoteaming environment in and around all of Austin, that really played into their competition, their need to gather revenue, work well as an intact team, but also their need to really work cross-team collaboratively, and it came off really well. It was highly successful.
Wow, so was there a lot of planning into the event?
Yeah, this is months and months in the works. And like anything, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of change in terms of the dynamics, what they're trying to get. So we had a very flexible team on the geoteaming side. Outstanding people showed up and really worked with us. My course designer, Tanya Phillips, was also really strategic in pulling this off. And so we did a lot of moving with the clients. I had more telecoms than I think I've ever had in the past. But in the end, it really worked.
Well, that's amazing too. I mean, some people don't realize how much work goes into a 4-hour team building event to make it just right. And so, out of the result of that though, what was the high point of this particular event?
Actually, there's multiple high points. I think that I was impressed and quite pleased at the level of collaboration. The fact that we created this 36 teams, made 3 separate regions, 12 teams per region, and they really stepped up to the plate to work collaboratively, so that came through real well. We had a home command team that said it was one of the more challenging jobs they'd had, so they were really holding the scope of getting the collaborative as well.
Well, those are people who didn't walk, right? Who stayed at the facility and helped coordinate people.
Yes, with a group of this size, you have to accommodate a wide variety of skill sets and people's needs, and so we were able to do that really successfully and keep them highly engaged. That was a key. And then I think seeing the chaos of trying to design this puzzle. I mean, if you can only imagine how many people.
How many puzzle pieces was it? It was a lot.
There was 160 pieces per panel, and I had 3 panels.
Okay.
And each team had to do a mandatory cache
Yeah.
to earn their puzzle section.
Huh.
So there was 14 to 10 pieces per section that had to be, we really had to work within the region, so you can understand the logistics and the behind the scenes of coordinating this. But as a team earned their mandatory section out in the field, then that allowed them to assemble that as a team first, dry assemble, and then transfer that to these big panels and do it collectively as a region.
Oh, so then each panel got put in and then built this gigantic,
yes,
gigantic
huge, huge. And then, of course, the client had an opportunity to explain the branding of this image to the entire group. So it was really an unveiling, whole visual unveiling that they earned out in the field through geoteaming. So it was a beautiful blend.
So it wasn't only team building, but it was also a way to, I think it had their company values on it, is that right?
Yeah, it had some of the new competencies that they were trying to do, definitely, and they were pulling together, multiple countries too, so the Americas, and they were trying to develop a cohesive message as well through that.
Perfect. So then what did the client say at the end of the event? Was either their comments or results? Or...
I think they were extremely, I know they were very, very pleased. There was a lot of, apprehension, anxiousness. They'd never stepped up to do something like this before, and the fact that they, had their confidence in us and me and my team was really, really appreciative. I think the first comment was, thank you so much for your ability to be flexible and adaptable and to hang there with us. Because we recognize that we made you jump through a lot of hoops. They definitely wanted to do a lot of transitions and changes, and they really acknowledged our ability to step to that and make that happen for them. So they were very, very pleased.
Great. And any personal learning lessons from this particular event, or?
Oh yeah, lots of learning lessons. As
when
always.
You'd like to share?
Yeah. Well, actually, this one went relatively smooth. I think planning is critical. One of the takeaways, like anything, when you're working with a team behind the scenes, is modeling that which we coach, teach, and share and facilitate with our client teams. And that is, once again, the continual benefits for stopping the action in the middle of the stress and have kind of a pause moment, a chance to regroup, rethink, get back onto the common goal that you're all working towards, and then really having a chance to sort of group up before you go into that next phase when the clock is clicking. And I think that we did that extremely well. The team in Austin did that just amazingly well. And where we tripped up a little bit is when we didn't do that. And so the things that I talk about and teach and facilitate just keeps coming back. So that's my big takeaway.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you, of course, for putting on another amazing event. And we're glad we're able to share some of that, with people who are interested about how we build these events. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.